May be yours. Man in the full knowledge of himself is a superb and supreme creature of creation. When man becomes possessor over the knowledge of himself, he becomes master of his environment, the captain of his own ship, the director of his own destiny, the accomplisher of his own end. Man should understand himself because man is full of knowledge, and this knowledge is a gift of nature. When Mother Nature created man, she deprived him of nothing. He was given the faculty of understanding all things around him. This faculty for understanding has not been taken away from him. None of his senses have been taken away from him. So there is no excuse for the black man in lacking the knowledge that man is used to beautify the world and produce all that he needs for his happiness and civilization. Look the world over, and whatever you see in it that is pleasing to man, contributing to man's comfort, to his needs, and to his satisfaction, it is but the work of man. Man blessed with the knowledge of himself and the understanding of all things around him. If you are able to live with the knowledge of yourself and with the greater knowledge of nature, you must know what is good and what is not. You must know what is finite. You must know that which is material, physical, and otherwise is at your disposal to create or otherwise use. If we leave America and go over to the east to Japan, they will be telling their fellow citizens of Japan of the wonderful accomplishments of the Japanese people, proving that man is moving onward as time moves on. But you have hated yourselves as you have done in previous years. You have shown malice, prejudice, and hate to each other. And the result is that while other races have made progress, while India has made progress towards nationalism, while Ireland has made progress towards republicanism, while the whole world has made progress in man's accomplishments, you still stand fighting yourselves, dishonoring yourselves, showing no disposition toward a higher life, so that you will be abundantly left. So reflect and think that you were created for some purpose other than exhibiting malice toward your neighbor or fellow men of your own race. What a pity it is that we cannot stand united without a written law. There is no written law compelling other races to stand together. They are brought together by the gentle touch of nature. The unwritten law of nature causes them to stand together on all occasions. So wheresoever you find them in the field, that one gentle touch of nature causes them to stand together. If need be, die together. But with the black man, you can preach to him from the pulpit. You lecture from the platform, from the byways and the hedges. The spirit of cooperation, but he will not cooperate. You talk to him gently, you try talking harshly to him, he still will not cooperate. The result is that he falls prey to those who understand themselves and walk through the world making you their serfs and slaves. You must acquire an understanding of yourself. Look around you. See the smiling pictures of nature, the beautiful hedges, the wonderful mountains, the wonderful vegetation all around. But because of your disposition to each other, you live in suffering and want, in penury and in death. You lack the gentle touch of nature, love for each other, you hate yourselves. Black men, what is wrong with you? Why have you no affection for yourselves? Could I hope to see you living among yourselves as the people I've spoken of, living in charity, love, and in sympathy with each other? It can be done. I wonder if you will adapt that course. Is it easier to enjoy prosperity than to live in ignorance and darkness? Why select the works of the nature? Nature never gave pain, suffering, and death to the world. It was man himself who selected death, pain, and sorrow. I wonder if I cannot inspire you to select between good and evil. Let me impress upon you once again that whatsoever your hardships may be, whatsoever your difficulties in life, they are your own selection. And so if you encourage them, if you husband them and take them to your bosom, they will abide with you. Nature will not take them away from you as Mother Nature did not give them to you. She is not responsible for your sorrows. Mother Nature represents all that is beautiful. She gave you the highest personality in the realm divine. Your sorrows are your own. If you want joy, if you want sunshine, it is before you abundantly in nature. I made a selection of sunshine, the beautiful sunshine. I made a selection to laugh with the moon, to laugh with the stars, and sing with the birds of the forest and of the wilderness, to join in the rhythmic music of the winds that sing from east to west and from north to south. And I selected sorrow I would have been a long time ago, and been without that which would send me into the presence of the divine, because I would have lived not with the knowledge that is divine. We must acquire the higher knowledge of life. Black men and black women, will you get the knowledge that the white man has?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Good afternoon. It's another God given day. It's another God blessed day here in the beautiful territory of New Orleans, Louisiana. And we give our God the thanks and the glory. We give our God the thanks and the glory for allowing us the privilege to be here with you another day, spitting our truth. We give our God the thanks and the glory. Again, brothers and sisters, if you so choose to participate in the show, to let your voice be heard, the telephone number is 504-303-8922. You can also listen to us by dialing 712-432-7883. Check us out on the web by going to www.radiogombocreole.net. That's radiogombocreole.net. We live stream this and every show on the Facebook. We live stream we live stream this and every show on the Facebook. And you can check us out on the Facebook by going to Anthony Brown for Assessor. That's Anthony Brown for Assessor 2017, where you can ask a question, leave a comment, like us, come on the show as a guest, whatever it, you can utilize this platform, whatever way you deem fit or you see fit. This is one radio station, or this is one podcast, or this is one media that don't restrict anybody from coming on to this program. A matter of fact, we encourage you to come on live on the show to let your voice be heard. Okay. You can also check us out on the YouTube. You can also check us out on the YouTube by going to The Proven Truth, where you can likewise leave a comment, ask a question, come on to the show or the invited guest. Okay, utilize this platform however you deem necessary. We, the people of these United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America, who is your daddy, still in full force and effect. The last time I checked, and that was just before I started this show, which was roughly 10 minutes ago. All government of right originates with the people, is founded on their will alone, and is instituted to protect the rights of the individual and for the good of the whole. Its only legitimate ends are to secure justice for all, preserve peace, protect the rights, and promote the happiness and general welfare of the masses. Who is your offspring? Who is your offspring? The Louisiana Constitution. And again, for those of you who've been listening to us for a while, you know we refer to the United States Constitution as Who is Your Daddy? And for those of you who are tuning for the very first time, the reason why we do so is without this document, the United States Constitution, there wouldn't be no other such document or none of the other territories which would have a constitution as well. And it is because this document right here, the Constitution of the United States, why we can have a constitution of this territory, Louisiana. Family, brothers and sisters, loved ones, friends and enemies. You know, on this program, we are black conscious, not black ignorant. We are black conscious, not black ignorant. We are black conscious, not black ignorant. And we recognize those who came before us. We recognize those who came before us. We pay respect to our ancestors, to those champions who give their life, not freely in some cases, but give their life just because of their love, not for only self, but for the black masses. We recognize them every day, talking about people like Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Nani from the Maroon, Paul Bogle, Fred Hamilton, Maurice Bishop, Malcolm X, Carter G. Wilson, Harriet Tubman, Thomas Sankara, Somoral Makel, Bookman Duty, Toussaint Louverture, Jack Dessalines. Family, look, something occurred to me. Something occurred to me over the weekend. I think it was roughly 4 or 5 years ago. You see, look, when knowledge increase, it's a beautiful thing. Listen to what I'm saying carefully. When knowledge increase, it's a beautiful thing. When you see the errors of your ways, it's a beautiful thing. When you recognize that you are dumb and misinformed and you are now informed, it's a beautiful thing, right? I remember it was 5, 6 years ago. I was listening to this black brother um, doing a speech, right, or a presentation, and this black brother was calling out some names, right? And to be honest with you, these names right off. Look, to be honest with you, I didn't know who the hell he was talking about, man. When he was calling these names, but he was calling these names and making reference to these people in reverence. You see, he was paying homage. He was giving them their due respect, and he was saying that, look, these are our ancestors who we need to be proud of. And yeah, I was listening to the brother, but again, even though I was listening to him, I really couldn't identify to the extent that the people who he was talking about, I was like, man, based on his argument, there's some good people. These are people who did good by me, by my father, and by my father. You see what I'm saying? But I never know the true extent until I personally dive into this whole black movement, until I dive into the history of the black masses, until I start to educate myself. And then it's like an epiphany. I came across these names and I was like, OMG, look at this. This is who Homeboy was talking about back when. And these three last names that I mentioned right now, family, he mentioned these three names: Bookman Duty, Toussaint Louverture, and a Jack Dessalines. And that's the reason why I said on this program and continue to say, even though there are times when I actually give you some insight to who these people are, or who these people was, and what their contribution to the black massive or to humanity, period. Right? And that's why I say, look, it is my job, duty, responsibility to inform, not to educate. I'm no teacher in this. I don't have no credentials like that. I cannot educate you about nothing. I will merely give you the information, and it is your duty, or it is on you what you want to do with that information, how far you want to take it. Okay? And it's important because look, if you should take just any one of these ancestors that we make reference to on a daily basis, just one, anyone, and you should do an in-depth analysis or an in-depth research on any one of these ancestors, man, if you ain't as proud as I am, you ain't black. If you ain't as proud as I am, you ain't black. If you ain't as proud as I am, you're a goddamn Mitch J. Landry or a Barack Hussein Obama. You're a fake ass. Believe me. Every time I read or every time I remember or reflect about these ancestors right here, man, they give me the will, the courage, and the motivation to do what I'm doing today. They give me the will, the inspiration, the motivation to do what I'm doing right here, right now. Knowing that what these people did, the sacrifice, the mountain that these ancestors climbed. Oh my God, man. And that's one of the reasons why, family, even though we love our black brothers and sisters, and a matter of fact, because we love our black brothers and sisters, why we have to call them out for what they are doing today. Because if our ancestors should be alive today, or should wake up, should come out of the grave today, and see our state of affair that we are presently in right now, I guarantee you, I'm not a betting man, but I could just about put my life on it based on what I know about these ancestors. They would ask me, they would say, Anthony, put my black ass back in the grave and leave me alone. Yeah, they would say that. They would say, Anthony, please, my brother, look, you look like somebody I can be proud of. But put my black ass back in the grave and cover my ass and leave me alone, my brother. Wish you all the best. I'm telling you, that's what they would say. Looking on where we are right now with these so called black leaders, not only in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, but all over the goddamn America, all over the diaspora. Well, let's stick with this territory right now, New Orleans, Louisiana. They wouldn't be happy, man. Look, family, this is what we're gonna do today. This is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna use the first hour of the show, right? And I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna do my thing for the first hour. And for the last hour, I'm gonna ask for some assistance. Well, no. Well, for the last hour, I'm gonna be playing a clip for you guys so you guys can hear. And that clip will basically endorse what I'm about to say for this first hour of the show. Right? So I'm going to do my thing for the first hour, right? And then for the last hour, I'm gonna allow the professionals, I'm gonna allow the professionals to basically do their thing. And then you can tell me if what I'm saying and what they are saying, if it's not one and the same. Now, family, look, let me tell you something. We have a problem. We have a serious problem here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana. We have a serious problem. And the problem that we are having here is political corruption. We are having a serious problem. The problem is political cronyism, political corruption. And when we talk about political corruption or political cronyism, we are not just talking about one bad apple. We are not just talking about one bad apple, or maybe two bad apple, or maybe a one term or even a two term corrupted politician. No, we're not talking about that. We have here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, deep rooted criminals in public office. We have here in the territory of Louisiana cronyism. We have criminals endorsing criminals. We have elected officials who don't care about the rule of law, about the constitution, about the oath of office. We have politicians with the performing politics and our time. We have here politicians utilizing elected office for a financial gain. And it's serious. It's serious. It's serious. And for those of us who try to expose it or who try to keep the issue on the forefront, we do so with the understanding and the knowledge that we are speaking to a minute percentage of the population, right? And we are also doing so with opposition from those with the power and the authority. And whatever they can do to silence our voice, they are doing it. They are doing it. Now, let me share something what happened yesterday, family. I was in my office. I received a message from on my phone informing me that on the radio, WBOK was one RLG criminal imposter Williams, the person calling himself the Orleans Parish Tax Assessor. Okay? So what I did was to pick up my phone and try to call into the radio station. The person who was hosting the show, now look, this ain't the first time. This ain't the first time that Errol G. Williams went to this radio station and they don't accept calls. Whenever Errol G. Williams go to this radio station, WBOK, the person, well, yesterday it was this other it was Oliver Thomas who was hosting that show yesterday. Now, family, listen, hold on. Hold on, family. Give me a second. Let me take a sip of this crystal, man. Because somehow, let me take a sip of this crystal for a second. Okay. Here you have a public official, right? Going onto mainstream media or the local media and refuses from accepting call from John Public. But this is what you need to understand. Whenever this guy, Errol G. Williams, go there and speak, right? There is only certain people, when it comes on to journalists or talk show hosts, he will speak to or give an interview to. And you must ask yourself, or someone like me would then ask myself, why? Now, yesterday I tried to call to ask this clown a question because he was basically speaking about something that is going to be on the ballot in 2020, right? They are presently drafting some amendment, right? That will be on the ballot, constitutional amendment that will be on the ballot for 2020. We are in 2018. For 2020, they are drafting right now so that if that measure should pass, they can, or the Orleans Parish tax assessor will have the capability of increasing taxes on your property 50%. Now, I heard that straight from that criminal mouth a few Saturdays ago. Okay? Now, what are we talking about here today? We're talking about deep rooted politicians, corrupted politicians, deep rooted corrupted politicians, and the fact that they stick together. The fact that they stick together. Now, Errol G. Williams yesterday was at WBOK. WBOK would not, or a matter of fact, let me not say WBOK. The person conducting the interview, Oliver Thomas, would not accept any phone call into his show. Now, Tuesday evening or Tuesday night, we know that the phones was working properly at WBOK. We know the phones was working properly and people were making call into the station Tuesday night. We know that for a fact. But here it is Wednesday morning. Errol G. Criminal Williams was at WBOK, supposed to be doing an interview, and all of a sudden the phone was out of service, temporary out of service. Or if you call, it won't ring, and you get a dead toll or some type of message. But this is what I want to make a connection here. Here it is, Oliver Thomas, and let me tell you who let me for those of you who don't know who Oliver Thomas is, let me tell you who Oliver Thomas is. He's presently, or he's right now a, a talk show host for up and WBOK, right? But previously, he was a former council person. He was a former politician sitting on the New Orleans City Council here in the territory of New Orleans, representing District B. All right. Oliver Thomas was a politician here in the territory of New Orleans, a city council member representing the district of the political subdivision of District B. He did time because of his criminal conduct. Because of his criminal conduct while in public office. He did federal time. He was elected to serve the will of the people, right? To serve the will of the people. Now, look, family, for those of you who, again, the name of this show is The Proven Truth. There was an article published, when was this? Is it June 1st, 2018, in the New Orleans Advocate. Um, Former New Orleans City Councilman Oliver Thomas arrested on traffic violation after crash. Now, look, that traffic thing, I ain't knocking him for that. To be honest with you, I ain't knocking him for that because you know, for those of you who know me, know my stance on that whole traffic crap. Okay, it's a means to an end for the political uh, elites, for the municipal corporation, for the body politic. Okay, it's not about safety or anything like that. It's a way of generating revenue. That's all. But that's neither here or there. But if you should go to that paper, you can see his mugshot, and you can read. You know what I mean? You can get some first-hand information or some background information about this guy right here. Let me see. Let me read. Let me read a part of this here. Thomas was first elected to the city council in '94 to represent District B, which encompasses Central City and the Central Business District and part of Mid City Uptown. He was re-elected in '98. Voters elected him to an at-large seat. So in 2002 and 2006, he was elected to an at-large seat, and he was widely believed to be eyeing a run for the mayor. So he had an aspiration to run for mayor in 2010, but he resigned his council position in 2007 and received a 37 months, 312, 36. So he spent 3 years in prison sentence after pleading guilty in federal court to taking $20,000 in bribes and kickbacks. So here is Oliver Thompson, a criminal, a trickster, somebody who is a native of New Orleans in public office taking bribe, right? The case involved a lucrative parking contract that political operatives. You see, look, listen. What? Look at the irony. They like his look. When this incident happened a month or so ago, when he was in that car accident, he went on TV crying. Oh, he was, oh, they arrested him while he was in the ER, blah 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 blah. But it was over a traffic ticket or a traffic citation, right? His black ass went to prison, taking bribes and kickback, right? It says the case involved a lucrative parking contract. So it's because of a parking contract, I guess that's why the case was generated in the first place. But you see the irony? So now he believed because he was an elected official and apparently he thinking that, he still have some ties or some loops or some string. You know what I mean? He's supposed to get special treatment. I don't know. Since his release from prison, Thomas has been active in local. Well, okay. I'm just setting the foundation. I'm trying to make a point. So here we have one ex-con. Here we have one convict. Here we have one criminal, Oliver Thomas, who used to a former politician, a former elected official, right? Spent over 3 years in prison for taking bribes, right? Didn't care about the people of this territory right here, New Orleans, Louisiana. Didn't care. He did not care about their aspiration, about what they needed. He didn't care. He was utilizing his office to enrich himself. Goddamn criminal. Okay? Now, let's go back to the time frame. See, we're talking about, so he was first elected into office. When was this? 94? Let's see. Where was it? He was first elected, well, yeah, 94. Yes. Thomas was first elected to city council in 1994, all right? To represent district. No, that's 1994. So here is a convicted criminal. Somebody who used to rob the people of New Orleans, right? Right? Having Errol Williams come in and issue, right? A couple times. And every time he invite Errol, a matter of fact, he told Errol Williams yesterday, look, my brother, when you come back? And that criminal was like, yeah, I'll come back whenever. Because they know that that whole stage is buttered and cushioned for them. Because they know that, look, once Errol criminal G. Williams come on that show, they ain't taking a call. So the public cannot have no input in that conversation. So Errol Williams come as a present day politician, as a present day criminal robbing the people of the territory of New Orleans. Whom chose to do interview with? Thomas Oliver. That's who him choose to go. Why? Because he know that Oliver cannot say jack to him or say nothing that Errol G won't like. You see what I'm saying? That Mr. Williams don't like. He know that. One mic, he know that. They're buddies. I guarantee you, look, I never know any of these two bastards before now. I didn't. I didn't. But I can guarantee, again, I'm not a betting man, but I can guarantee you, sitting on the New Orleans City Council, Oliver Thomas, since 94, and that other clown imposter, Harold G. Williams, been in public office here since 1985. So that's actually 10 years before this clown right here. They knew each other. They knew each other. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to make a point, family. What I'm trying to show you is, I don't know, there's something kind of, I'm not feeling 100 today, to be honest with the family. I'm not feeling 100 today at all. I'm not feeling 100, but the show must go on. What I'm trying to say to you is that one of the reasons, or the main reason why we are in the state of affairs that we are right now in this territory, when it comes to economic prosperity, when it comes to crime, when it comes to unemployment, when it comes to education, when it comes to jobs, is because of these criminal actors and their associates, why we are presently in the state of fear. Follow what I'm saying? You would think Harold G. Williams would go to a radio talk show host that would actually question him, or that would actually leave their give the public the right to call in and speak to a RLG. RLG Williams will not go nowhere, will not go on no show, either TV or radio, where the host will allow the public to let the questioner to ask RLG Williams question. He will not do it. He's a criminal. He operates in the dark, RLG Williams. And he only associates himself with people of shady character and other known criminals. Right? He only associates himself with people of shady character or ex-con like Oliver Thomas. Look, let me tell you something, family. What we are doing here, what we are doing here is merely connecting the dots. And it is our argument that when you look at certain people, when you have a person like Harold G. Williams can go on a radio station like WBOK and talk with Oliver Thomas, right? And they can sit there and they can speak their own mind and tell their own version of whatever the issue or the topic is without any input from the public. That ain't journalists. That ain't a radio station who encourage public participation. They only do it with certain people. Only when there are certain people talking about certain issues, they allow the public to participate. When Oliver Thomas of Errol G. Williams and his radio show here at WBOK, the line is always temporary out of service or they don't accept any calls during that period of time. It's not the first or the second time. Well, it's actually the second time I know of. But I can guarantee you there could have been other times. As a matter of fact, there was other times too. I actually know of, because what I'm saying, I actually called the station twice when Errol G. Williams was there. And that's what happened. But there was other times when I was informed that I didn't call the station. And I was told that, look, they couldn't get you. What I'm trying to say here is one present day criminal is going to a yesterday criminal to speak about issues or to speak about things that directly would affect we the people. It's a joke. It's a joke. Errol G. Criminal Williams is a joke, and ex-con Thomas Oliver is a joke. It's a joke. Now, there is a figure that I want you guys to think about while I'm talking. And that figure is 55%. 55%. 55% of the residents or the people here in this territory are renters. Renters, meaning not homeowners. They either rent or lease properties. And you have to ask yourself, why is that so? Why is that so? Why we have such a vast percentage of the population not acquiring home but renting? Now, there could be several factors, to be honest with you. There could be several factors to which I posed that question in a group setting a while back, and I got several different answers. Some of them, to be honest with you, kind of took me by surprise. But you must ask yourself that question. 55% of the population, 55% of the people residing here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, are renters. Now, the truth about it, before acquiring all this knowledge, right? And then again, knowing God and me family, the truth about it, knowing me, because look, I was raised in a place and time when my daddy, from I was a toddler, from I was 3. I think that's the early age I can actually remember myself. I had my own room. Yeah, my own room. When I was a baby, I had my own room. Okay? And then I think when I was like 5, my brother, the one who followed me, shared that room with me until I was a teenage, around 12, 13, a match for, and that was when I actually moved up my dad's house too. But my dad actually provide for us, provide a roof over our head. I had my own room since I was a toddler. And if it's one thing my parents always instill in my black ass is, look, you need to have your own. Right? But what I was about to say is that, you know, maybe, just maybe, I'm not saying factual, but just maybe, if I add this information then what I have now about this criminal imposter Errol G. Williams, about the cronyism, about the corrupted politicians here in the territory of New Orleans, maybe I want to acquire my piece of property out there in the East. Maybe I want to do it. And maybe I would still have done it because I believe in providing for not only myself but my family. And knowing me, I'm not going to make another, I'm not going to make a politician, more so a corrupted politician like Errol G. Williams, stop me from providing for self and family. You crazy? So maybe with all that information, I still wouldn't be counted in that 55% of people here in the territory of New Orleans who are renters. But understand the concept, family. You hear the term money breeds money, criminals breed criminals. Let's go back to the conversation. So here we have this convict. Here we have this criminal, this ex-criminal, this ex-politician, Oliver Thomas. It's not the first time, family. It's not the first time. He's going to invite that criminal, Errol G. Williams, on his show, right? And give Errol G. Williams a platform to speak. Look, I tell, look, look, I understand the politics in the fact that maybe WBOK is under certain restriction, right? And maybe get the money from certain donors or however they get the money. So they can, but at the same time, look, if you're gonna invite somebody as a guest, and that person who you're gonna be invited is an elected official, a politician, somebody that we the people put to public office, and that person gonna be talking about the public affair, why the hell wouldn't you allow the public to talk to their employee? Huh? Because they don't care about the public, family. Understand me? They don't care about me and you. Huh? Oliver Thomas cared about his own financial being. That's what he cared about. That's why his black ass spent 3 years in federal prison. Here we have a present day somebody who is still according to him in public office. He's a goddamn imposter. I've proved that so many times. For those of you who tune into this station, he's an imposter. But here you have this imposter over here, Errol G. Williams, who is presently, as we speak, robbing the people of this territory, New Orleans. Robbing them. Now he want to speak and something that's supposed to affect the people of New Orleans. Where did he go? Did he find somebody credible? Did he find a platform by which the people of this territory of New Orleans can interact with him and ask him questions? No! Where did that clown go? He went to his criminal friend, Oliver Thomas. And what Oliver Thomas said, look, no phone call. Let's look. We ain't taking a phone call. Let's unplug the phones. Speak your mind, brother. So him give his criminal friend Errol Williams a platform to speak. Errol speak, then him leave. And when he was leaving, somebody look, whenever you want to come back, you can come back, man. Feel free to come back and speak, man. Because that's what they do, family. In a short while, because I know a lot of you listen to me and maybe saying to yourself, no, it can't be that bad, Anthony. It really can't be that bad. It's just one or two corrupted politicians. Yeah, maybe Oliver Thomas was a corrupted politician, but he may in office no more, Anthony. What I'm saying to you is us don't have to be in office right now. But here it is, him have a platform right now by which he is inviting other criminal, he's inviting corrupted politicians to come and give him a platform. Because he know what Errol G. Williams is doing right now is what he used to do. He know that. I'm gonna, in this upcoming clip, family, again, the issue here is deep-rooted corruption. We're talking about, look, you cannot just cut the branch, one branch or two branch off of the tree and think you're gonna solve the problem. You cannot just send a Oliver Thomas to federal prison for 3 years and think you're gonna solve the problem. No, you ain't gonna do that. What we have to do is start to weed them out of office and lock them ass up. We have to start to weed them out. We have to weed them out of office. We have to weed out them J Banks. We have to weed out them Jason Williams. We have to weed out them Errol G. Williams. We have to weed out them Bernard Johnson. We have to weed out them Paula Brown. We have to weed out them Cedric Richmond. We have to weed out them all of them criminals, man. Come on, family, help me, man. We have to weed them out. And not only weed them out, but cut the navel string. Cut the navel string. Look, this is what I'm talking about. Here we got this criminal, Oliver Thomas, this ex-con, still have the navel string connected to somebody who is claiming to be in public office right now, Errol Criminal G. Imposter Williams, the so-called tax assessor. So the navel string family is still there. This criminal over here, Oliver Thomas, have a connection. Navel string is still tied. Is still tied into the municipal corporation. Yeah, believe me, family. One ex-con, ex-criminal, is giving a platform to another, to a present-day criminal. Now, again, understand the concept of family. This is what I'm saying. Errol G. Williams supposed to be an elected official. We the people have been taking care of his so-called black ass for over close to 40 years right now. It's because of we the people, his wife and his daughters can be driving around in expensive car, bragging about the multi-car garage and the big mansion out there. That they went to school. We the people took care of his black ass for all these years. Follow me. So now you're gonna go on a radio station, right? You're gonna go to a radio station speaking about our affairs, our business, supposedly our business. You're an elected official speaking on behalf of we the people, and you ain't gonna accept no call. You're a goddamn criminal, man. You know, look, I've been saying that to my brothers and sisters for quite some time now. Since the first time I recognized that crap, back in when 2013, 14, huh? I've been telling you that. Now, I'm gonna be playing this clip in a short while, family, and you're gonna hear the expert speak about these corrupted politicians here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana. How they take financial contribution, all branch of government, and that's what I'm saying. It's not the reason why it is so deep rooted, and the reason why it is to the state where it is at right now is because no single branch of government in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana is excluded. None. Every single, and again, family, the stream is dirty from the head, from the top. It's dirty from the top. So, when you look on the legislative branch in the territory of Louisiana, look at the speakers of the House. When you look on the executive branch, look no further than John Bell Edwards, that criminal, call himself the governor, honorable. When you look at the judicial branch, look no further than that criminal, so-called black Democrat female, Bernadette J. Johnson. It's dirty from the top. It's dirty, family. So it does trickle down. And that's the reason why the lower tiers, okay, when we establish for a fact, and again, look, when we speak, we don't care, you know. And when I say we don't care, because we know that we are speaking the truth and it is factual, and that's the reason why we say to our listening and viewing audience, feel free. This is not double. This look. My name is Anthony Brown, not Oliver Thomas. You can call this program the Proven Truth, and I implore you to call when we are on the air. If there is anything that we are saying that you can prove to be factually false, call us. Again, the number is 504-303-8922 and say, Anthony, come on, man. You're full of crap, bro. Or that's not right, man. And if you can prove, if, that's a very big if, because again, we only speak an issue that we are knowledgeable about. We only speak an issue that we are knowledgeable about, not informed. We are knowledgeable about the issue when we speak on it. So if you can prove that what we are saying is factually false, look, we ain't thin-skinned. I will apologize to anybody if I make a statement that is factually false and it cause you harm or offend you. And if case be and I need to pay restitution, I will. So I'm saying, family, and a matter of fact, away from that, it's your duty and responsibility as the listening and viewing audience to correct your brother, man. Correct me. I'm a human being too. I'm entitled. Look, I have a God-given right to make mistakes. There. I have a God-given right to make a mistake. I got. It's a substantive right I have. I can make a mistake. You can't kill me for it. So if I make a mistake, you then need to call me and say, oh, look, Anthony, I think you make a mistake. Or you make a mistake. And this was where you was wrong. So my brother, correct it. Okay? And again, look, it's coming from a place of love. I will appreciate you and love you more if you do that. I'm telling you. And I want you to do it on the ear. so everybody can see and hear, so everybody can see me and correct me. I appreciate you, man. What are you talking about? Much love, my brother, my sister, when you do that. We won't speak on no issue if we are not knowledgeable, in depth, knowledgeable about it. We ain't do it. When you look on the judicial branch and you look on a Bernadette J. Johnson, who we know for a fact, you know what I said? It's a fact, a scientific fact too. We know that. We can show anybody our evidence. Any day of the night, any day of the look. We know for a fact that Bernadette Johnson don't give one rat's ass or care about the rule of law or the Constitution. We know that for a fact. And the only time she make reference to that crap is when she is doing our annual presentation to the legislative body there in Baton Rouge, or when her little black ass was twined up when she was supposed to be the Chief Justice. And her associates said, no, sit your little ass down and wait. You say in your turn, who the hell do you think you be? But you want to be Chief Justice of the Louisiana Supreme Court. Quiet! When they tell her ass to sit her ass down, what did she do? She came out to the public, screaming hell, talking about the Constitution. Oh, the Constitution. The Constitution give me the authority to be the first because I'm the supreme. I'm the senior. Give me the certainty. I'm the number. Because I'm black and because I'm a female. Her little monkey ass. That's when she know the Constitution. We know for a fact. And that's the reason why the so-called judges in the inferior courts disregard this document as well, or utilize their office, their position, their title to rob people while they're in office. Judges. That's the judicial branch. The executive branch. John Criminal Bell Edward, the Honorable. Here it is, the chief law enforcement officer, the most senior elected official in this territory, right? Taking bribes, creating boards or putting member on boards who we know for a fact ain't supposed to be on them boards. Criminals, man. We have his predecessor. Look, family, I'm telling you, man, we ain't talking about this present day administration alone. And again, I'm gonna play for you. Look, the presentation that these experts did, Fox 8 and the advocate did, was over 2 hours long. I'm just gonna play less than an hour for you. I'm gonna utilize, well, I'm actually in the second hour of the show right now, but look. The level of political corruption here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, it's widespread and it's deep. And what you find happening is that there are outside elements, that give prudence to these criminals in office. Some of these outside elements are people like Oliver Thompson, who is who was a part of the establishment. He was a part of the establishment and now claiming to be affiliated with we the people. and I know claiming to be talking on behalf of we the people. Some elements are that giving prudence to some of these criminals out here is people who like to associate themselves with people with power or influential people or people in authority, be it politically or socially, right? And that's why the level of cronyism, the level of political corruption is so deep and widespread here in the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana. That's the reason why Errol G. Williams can be ducking and diving, can be doing what he's doing to the people of Louisiana without no significant retribution. That's why he can be doing that. Because he knows that when we, the people, file any complaint against what he's doing, his crony friends, like Ethelyn Sims Julian, that so called judge in Division N, Orleans Parish Civil District Court, that so called judge, that criminal Ethelyn Sims Julian calling herself a judge, collecting a salary from we the people, is going to back him. He's going to back what he's doing. Why? Because when Errol Criminal G. Imposter Williams put your private property on his avalarum tax roll, he's doing so with willful and malicious intent. He's doing so knowing that one, it is wrong. He's doing so two, for a financial gain. And he's doing so three, to spread the wealth. To spread the wealth where? And among who? Amongst his crony friends. Amongst the body politic. Amongst the New Orleans Municipal Corporation. Amongst the judicial branch. They know this, family, and that's what we're talking about. It is so deep rooted, it's a disease. We need to get to a point where we basically put all them criminal actors calling themselves politicians in a barrel and roll them down the Mississippi River. They're criminals. They're criminals doing criminal activity. They are criminals doing criminal activities. Politician doing politics. And it is time for the people of New Orleans to wake the hell up. It is time for the people of New Orleans, Louisiana, to wake the hell up and to recognize the fact that you are continuing, you're allowing your emotions, your party affiliation to direct your conduct. You need to wake the hell up and recognize that, look, there is a reason why the territory of New Orleans, when it comes on to economical prosperity, is the worst, or is the last, running dead last, scraping the goddamn bottom of the barrel. Out of 50 territory, when it comes on to economical prosperity, the territory of Louisiana is 50th. When it comes on to political cronyism, when it comes on to political corruption, the territory of Louisiana is number one. You see what we're talking about? You see what we're talking about, family? Now, again, brothers and sisters, we're talking about deep-rooted, corrupted Louisiana politicians. And again, as I stated earlier, your brother ain't feeling 100 today. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to allow the expert, because the expert maybe can explain it to you in a way that you can understand it. One of the things I like about this presentation that you're about to hear right now, well, the first thing I like about it is the Guardian title. And the title is Louisiana Purchase. Louisiana Purchase. And you will see how Louisiana was sold out by corrupted politicians. Again, family, we're talking about all branch of government. No, there is no one branch that can be excluded. And again, we're talking about corruption from the top coming all the way down. When you have a governor, when you got a governor, the most senior elected official in any given territory, gonna look on you after you outline that, look, Mr. Governor, here is a J Banks running for public office. And at a minimum, this guy he's of shady character. At a minimum, we know that he's breaking the law. He's not following the constitution. At a minimum, we know that he's committing something wrong. There's some cronyism going on between himself and that criminal Harold G. Williams. And the governor is going to tell the media that, look, I have nothing against J Banks because J Banks endorsed me when I was running for public office. Huh? J Banks came to your house and give your wife and your kids present. So you have nothing against. So that's what we're talking about, family. Here in the territory of New Orleans, the way how it works, it's one criminal scratches the other criminal back and vice versa. Criminals in office, man, calling themselves guardian politicians.
Pretty extraordinary. Thousands of research hours, all in an effort to shed light on a system that's hidden behind millions of pieces of data. Yes, it's what they did. The big business of campaign financing. It's a form of legalized bribery. Tonight, we look back at a series honored with 3 national awards: the Everett R. Murrow, the national headliner, and the George Foster Peabody. How did that happen? 2.8 million in 4 years. That's a lot of money. A graduation gift for your niece. That seems a bit out of bounds. Politicians crossing the legal line. They're either breaking the law or they really don't know what they're doing. Public servants faced with ethical dilemmas. You feel like someone has approached you before wanting a vote. Absolutely. A series that launched investigations from the State Ethics Board and the FBI. These are allegations of public corruption. A series that raised serious questions about some of the most powerful people in our state. He's double dipping. This is pathetic. That's my money, that's your money. A one-of-a-kind collaboration between Fox 8 and NOLA.com, the Times Dickie Young. Reports airing on TV, online, and in the newspaper. What? Yeah, that's why I hired him, so I can stay out of it. Here's Lee Zorich with Louisiana Purchase. If money drives politics, we're about to show you who's riding shotgun. In a state of 4.6 million people, only a fraction contributes to elections, and an even smaller amount of people give most of the money. Here's part 1 of Louisiana Purchase. In the state of Louisiana, this lakefront neighborhood isn't a blip on the map. There's 1 home, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All totaled, 398, 399. It's a neighborhood the size of some Mardi Gras cruise. We counted about 400 homes in the state. That's correct.
But imagine a community this small,
And that's a lot of money to be giving.
with the power to pour tens of millions of dollars
It's incredible these numbers I'm looking at.
into politicians' war chests. If your home were able to contribute hundreds of thousands of dollars to campaigns, $1 million, what do you think you'd be getting?
I'm sure I would be getting, I'd be getting a speaking voice, so to speak, if you want to call it that. They would be listening to me. Influence.
This Kenner community helps illustrate just how few people in the state influence taxpayer money, laws, politicians, and elections. For nearly 4 months, Fox 8 News and NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune, spent hundreds of research hours crunching campaign data to come up with the top 400 donors for Louisiana elections over the past 4 years. The top 400 is a record of people with the money to influence, and some have used that money to help reform government, bring stronger laws, and transparency. This small group actually represents a sliver, 0.3% of all donors, but they give big bucks, nearly 1/3 of all money donated to Louisiana's politicians. If you were able to give $500,000, $1 million to politicians, what would you expect?
I would expect them to vote the way I'd like to see the votes being done.
And according to the National Institute of Money on State Politics, that's the problem with a small group giving large amounts of money.
I think it's indicative of a less healthy democratic process because too few players are having too large of a role.
The top 400 is littered with interesting names like Entergy, Exxon, Cox Communications, Mitch Landrieu, and Newell Norman. But we also found interesting donations, and that brings us to number 160 in our top 400 list, Brian Bozier from Alexandria. A large chunk of his donations came in one day, February 8th, 2012, in 19 different checks. Bozier, 6 of his family members, a business partner, and 11 different companies he owns contributed the maximum $5,000 to Governor Bobby Jindal. All totaled, in one day, Bozier helped direct $95,000 to the governor.
The reason this is effective is because it's hidden. They're using the rules to disguise the influence. You see that?
They're using the rules to disguise $90,000.
That's correct.
Different corporations.
That's correct.
Before the donations, Jindal appointed Bozier to the State Board of Commerce and Industry and the Louisiana Highway Safety Commission. Months after, one of Bozier's companies, Diamond B Construction, secured nearly $50 million in state contracts. If you're governor and someone gives you a stack of checks totaling $90,000, I mean, what is that telling you?
It tells me that they want something. It tells me they want influence. It tells me that to be suspicious.
Hi, Mr. Bozier. This is Lee Zurich calling from Dublin. Bozier never returned our call or email for comment. LSU professor Bob Mann spent 2 decades in politics, working for the late longtime Senator Russell Long, former Governor Kathleen Blanco. He says for some, the donations come down to buying access.
It's a form of legalized bribery.
It is.
Absolutely. If I gave $1,000 to a member of Congress or to a city councilman, and he put that money into his personal checking account, that would be called bribery. I give the same $1,000 to a city councilman, and he puts that same check into his campaign account. It's called politics. It's called good government. But the way that the politician uses the money isn't all that different.
The big money contributions are by no means limited to one party or the other. The Democratic and Republican parties are 2 of the largest donors in the state. In this context, they are little more than fundraising franchises. The Republican Party comes in at number 4, giving $1.2 million. The Democrats, number 2, handing out $1.3 million. Parties have no contribution limits. They can write a check to a candidate for any amount of money. So in 2011, the Republican Party donated $248,000 to Buddy Romer's son, Chaz Romer, for his race for the state school board. The party gave Romer nearly half the money he raised in that race and helped propel Romer to a victory. The Democratic Party poured almost $800,000 into Caroline Fayard's failed 2010 lieutenant governor campaign. Much of the donated money raises questions. On October 13th, 2010, Fayard's father and family gave the Democratic Party $210,000. A day later, the party purchased campaign ads for Caroline Fayard, totaling about $210,000. In two other instances, the Fayards donated money to the party. Days later, nearly the same amount of money was given to Fayard's campaign. Fayard couldn't give that much money directly to his daughter because of contribution limits. And keep in mind, it's against the law to earmark contributions to a political party, so they go to a specific candidate. So from October 2004 to 2010, the Fayard family gave no money to the Democratic Party. In October of 2010, the Fayards contributed a total of $635,000 to the party. That same month, Fayard's law partner, Blaine Honeycutt, his wife Valerie, and the law firm contributed an additional $140,000 to the Democrats. It just so happens in that same month, October of 2010, the Democratic Party gave Carolyn Fayard $759,000 in her losing lieutenant governor race. Former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg's donations to Louisiana elections earned him the 36th spot. Bloomberg donated to education causes and also gave to the mayor of New Orleans and Shreveport. Baton Rouge businessman Lane Grigsby also gave heavily to education causes and helped vault him to number 3. But Grigsby also shows us the power of bundling. Bundling is basically when one person uses different businesses, family members, and friends to direct large amounts of money to one candidate. Grigsby, his family, and employees made 10 separate donations in 1 year to Baton Rouge Judge William Morvan. All total, they gave $40,000. In another instance, 11 different donations netted State Rep Simone Champagne a $27,000 bundled contribution. It shows campaign finance laws can be manipulated. One person or one interest can still have a huge impact on a race.
It may be within the letter of the law, but it certainly seems to evade, at least in part, the spirit of the law. If you can collect from a lot of different corporations that are all, or donors, all connected to a similar entity, then it has a tendency to lessen the relevance of the contribution limits.
The law allows individuals and corporations to give up to $5,000 to major races like governor or the mayor of New Orleans. Donations are lower, $2,500 for other offices like state senators and representatives. Several industries stuck out in our research: oil and gas, utilities, banking, insurance, and millions from attorneys. But some of the top 400 may surprise Baton Rouge outsiders. 3 different river pilot groups made the top 35, and nursing homes gave big bucks. 10 different nursing homes made the top 400. All total, that industry donated more than $2 million. 46 people in the top 400 self-financed much or all of their races. That was no guarantee of success, though. 70% of them were defeated. In St. Bernard Parish, for instance, Wayne Landry and Chad Clark both ran for sheriff. Combined, they contributed $1.3 million of their own money to the race. Both lost. Landry and Clark both made our top 400, both essentially part of a group the size of this Kenner neighborhood, a group that controls a large part of politics in this state.
I don't think it's a good thing, because the people that are giving these amounts you're showing me, they're the ones that are kind of running the government, so to speak.
Experts say essentially the oversized influence makes these key contributors, noble intentions or not, the gatekeepers of Louisiana politics.
In the name of freedom, we've allowed those super at the top, either wealthy individuals or more sinisterly, wealthy causes, special interest groups, to buy the system.
All total, $204 million was donated to campaigns in the past 4 years, about $63.5 million from the top 400. Some politicians don't raise $200,000 in 1 year. Rarely do you see that much money raised in 1 day from one interest. It's why a date in October of 2012 stuck out to us as we looked through Governor Bobby Jindal's campaign finance reports.
Well, with all us along, said that, money is to politics what fertilizer is to agriculture. It increases the yield. And they know it works.
If that's the case, one day 2 years ago, one industry directed plenty of fertilizer to the state's most powerful politician. It takes some time to look through every donation from October 24th, 2012. Governor Jindal actually spent much of that Wednesday campaigning for Mitt Romney in Iowa. But on that day, he received, count them, 87 different donations from nursing homes, all totaled $206,000.
87 contributions, 206,000 in one day. That's a lot. I mean, there had to be a reason behind that, right?
Yeah. Finding out why has proven to be difficult. The head of the Nursing Home Association says it's likely because Jindal asked for the money. If he did, the nursing homes delivered with 17% of Jindal's 2012 contributions on one day, $206,000.
Apparently either paying off campaign debts or wanting to run for something. And if he makes a request for campaign contributions, if our members choose to give, they'll give.
Fox 8 News and NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune, spent months digging through Jindal's campaign finance reports. Some trends stick out. We found connections between companies receiving state economic development money and campaign contributions to the governor. Here's one example. This picture from October 12, 2011 shows Walter Thomasy, owner of Thomasy Shipbuilders in Terrebonne Parish, cracking a smile at the christening of a new dry dock. The state contributed $9 million to that project. That benefits the company. This same day, the state announced the project, October 12th. Thomasy donated $2,500 to Jindal's campaign. Also, Thomasy didn't donate alone. His mother and father, also affiliated with the company, made separate $2,500 donations on the same day.
Do you remember making the donations?
No, I don't remember making it on that date, but obviously I did. If it's if it's on record. I just don't understand how it would be construed as anything other than a donation. We do straight up business. We do. And to make a claim that, we're doing something strange for favor, it's very far off base. Very far off base.
We found dozens of examples of members of state boards appointed by Jindal making big contributions. The 5th District Levy Board oversees 350 miles of levees in and near Tallulah. Members of that board are appointed by the governor. He can remove them at any time. In 2011, 2 board members from Tallulah, Jack Varner and Sand Hill, along with family members and corporations, gave Jindal $53,000. We looked at 12 different state boards where Jindal had direct authority to appoint. 83% of the board members, their family, or companies gave money, all totaled $1.6 million. The most we found came from the State Board of Commerce and Industry. 15 of 16 members and their relatives and companies gave, a total of $346,000. The State Board of Regents, which oversees higher education, came close, $286,000. The only Board of Regents member who didn't contribute, Baton Rouge Dr. Albert Sam.
You don't get on these boards, the LSU board or the Board of Regents, unless you're a contributor, or unless you're somebody like Albert Sam, who is a fine guy, really is, who didn't give a dime, and the only reason he's on there is because they came up to realize that they didn't have one African American on the board, and they needed one, so they kicked the white man off and found an African American doctor and put him on there. So that's the only way you can get on these boards, is either give a lot of money or find yourself as someone who they need because they suddenly realize they have no diversity whatsoever.
The LSU board has a similar story, $288,000 from board members, families, and companies. The highest contributor, Bobby Yarborough, the owner of Manda Fine Meats. Yarborough and relatives gave Jindal $63,000. We compared donations to Jindal and former Governor Kathleen Blanco's appointments. On the Board of Regents, 93% of Jindal's appointees contributed. 77% of Blanco's gave money. But here's the even bigger difference. Jindal's appointees gave $276,000 to his campaign. Blanco, $67,000. And some of these board members may be breaking state law. The law says if they contribute to the governor within 1 year of their board appointment, they have to make that public in a financial disclosure form. In our review, we found a handful who apparently didn't. Board of Regents appointee Chris Gorman gave Jindal $4,500 on November 8, 2010. The next month, Jindal sent out a news release announcing Gorman had been appointed to the Board of Regents. Gorman never made that public in his financial disclosure filing, an apparent violation of the law. But there's more. In 2012, North Shore businessman Dickie Blossman pleaded guilty to federal corruption charges. Blossman admitted to funneling money to board members of his bank, Central Progressive. The board members then donated that money to Jindal's campaign. In April 2007, the bank's 11 board members gave Jindal a total of $55,000. We tracked down this picture taken 1 month after the illegal donations. May of 2007, Jindal with Blossman at the opening of a Central Progressive Bank branch in Slidell. Prosecutors charged Blossman in the summer of 2012. Jindal's campaign returned the money in January of this year. It's important to note just what Bobby Jindal may be getting out of these contributions. He's term limited. He can't run for governor in 2 years, and this money can't be used on a federal election for president or Congress. But if you look at his campaign finance reports, the millions of dollars Jindal has raised has allowed him to travel around the country, campaigning, boosting his national profile. We found $63,000 in airfare, some on private jets. Jindal's campaign paid for $16,000 in hotel rooms. In one instance, we found news reports of Jindal traveling to Park City, Utah, to campaign with Mitt Romney. At the same time of those news reports, Jindal's campaign account paid for $1,000 at the Hotel Park City. Jindal also had a 2012 campaign payroll of $125,000, even though, again, he can't run for re-election. And in 2012, his Louisiana campaign fund paid $690,000 for political consulting, $42,000 for phones, $10,000 for campaign staff shirts. We requested an interview with Jindal by emails and a phone call. He never agreed to an interview. So when Jindal went to St. Tammany Parish for an economic development announcement, we showed up, once again asking for an interview.
I'd rather ask about.
I know what you want to do. Jindal's press secretary said we could only ask, quote, a question while Jindal was at the podium. As you can see by this story, we had a series of questions to ask and had documents and a picture to show them. So we tried to request an interview with the governor. The news conference concluded. Shielded by state troopers, the governor ignored our request.
Governor Jindal, we're trying to get a quick interview with you, Governor Jindal.
Yeah, I'll follow up. Louisiana Purchase returns in a moment. Most people know someone who has been, will be, or is in a nursing home. If you fit in that group, this story matters. We went into our Louisiana Purchase series with an open mind and went where the data, the numbers took us.
Family, that first, that first segment, you see, that first segment, family, I hope you guys following keenly, you know. We're talking about deep-rooted corruption. We're talking about deep-rooted corruption, deep-rooted politicians. We're talking about politicians who for not just this present set of politicians that we have here right now, right? So not only this elected official here, not local government nor on the state level. It's way back, you know. This report is basically talking about, they went as far back as 2 administrations before. So we're talking about 448, 2860, at least 16 years, you know, 16, 18 years back. They are speaking about the Jindal administration. They are speaking about the what's her name administration. You see, I'm talking about they are showing you that the system is set up or is so corrupted that you have people who, what they use the term bungling. So you have people who will utilize their wives, their husband, their sons, their daughters, their cousins, their nephews, their uncles, their aunt to channel money, calling it financial contribution or election or whatever contribution, right? Which is actually a bribe. So because they know that they cannot contribute to the governor or to any elected official um, past a certain dollar amount, they now go ahead and have their family members to take the money on the right hand and to give it to that elected official with the left hand. They know, and this is what I'm saying, if they knew that it wasn't right or it was illegal, why would they do it in such a manner or in that way? Right? But they have to do it that way because they know for a fact to do it any other way would be illegal or would be showing up that politician or that politician would have to report it. And they know that it will be an issue. Okay? So you have people here that look again, family, what we are establishing here is the root cause. That's what we're talking about. We are talking about the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana, being number one when it comes to political cronyism. Look, I ain't gonna waste any more time. Let the expert do their thing.
It didn't take us long in our research to shift a lot of our focus to one industry, the nursing homes. Empty beds, empty rooms like this cost Louisiana taxpayers millions.
They don't like to talk about it.
State leaders don't want to elaborate how and why they've paid as much as $23 million a year for thousands of unused beds.
It's so sad.
In 2010, Louisiana had 9,000 empty beds in nursing homes. At a legislative hearing that year, a lawmaker told a House committee how much it cost the state.
$23,191,688 last year went to unused beds in nursing homes.
Nursing homes are big business in Louisiana. Most are for-profit.
These are private businesses, and private businesses should be able to sink or swim. And if you're paying for empty beds, you're essentially paying somebody for not being as successful maybe as they should be in filling those beds. You know, Holiday Inn doesn't get paid if they have 30% of their rooms empty.
But each year, the state pays nursing homes for empty beds. Last year, 25% of the beds sat empty, 8,700 across Louisiana.
The demand is falling off, and yet the supply is being kept artificially alive.
In 2007, the state's Department of Health and Hospitals sent out a news release where the undersecretary was quoted saying the Medicaid reimbursement formula includes a payment for empty beds. But since then, the Jindal administration appears hesitant to admit the payments for empty beds. When we asked DHH last month, they responded, "We don't pay for empty beds." And we asked the question again, provided more details, including that 2007 news release. DHH clarified, writing, "The rate-setting methodology does include overhead and administrative expenses that indirectly result in some of the cost of empty beds being calculated into the rates." DHH declined our request for an on-camera interview.
If the demand is not there, but the supply is, why should taxpayers pay for something for a for-profit organization where the demand isn't there?
Why did the state approve those beds back in the 1980s and 1990s? We built them based on a need.
But what if the need's not there anymore?
Is that our fault? We built them based on a need. Now that we have a mortgage of $6, $8, $10 million, Does that mean you're gonna cut us out at the knees and say, we're not gonna pay you for that anymore? It's a fairness issue.
Bruce Blaney spent 6 years in the State Department of Health and Hospitals. Now he's an advocate for the elderly getting care in their homes. He says money should follow the patient, not an empty bed, but says it all comes down to money.
How does that happen?
Well, you can buy policy, alas. I mean, these campaign contributions buy a policy. They bought the empty bed policy.
You believe that?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I know it.
To know just how big of a business nursing homes are around the state, all you need to do is look at this stack of paper. 4 years of campaign contributions. The industry's come a long way from 1992, when Buddy Romer left the governor's mansion.
This is nursing home the last couple of years.
Awesome. Well, it's exploding. I guess their dependence on the governor and the legislature is at an all-time high. It's sad.
In the past 4 years, the nursing home industry has contributed almost $2.8 million to political campaigns, mostly to the governor and legislators.
2.8 million in 4 years. That's a lot of money.
I don't think we're probably near the largest.
But that 2.8 million is more than the oil and gas, telecommunications, gambling, utilities, and banking industries.
Campaign contributions are just, part of the process. People ask us for contributions, we give contributions.
In the last 4 years, nursing homes have given the governor $715,000, $124,000 to State Senator Sherry Chief Bumpington, $100,000 to Senate President John Alario. Many of the contributions are bundled together on one date or week, like October 24th, 2012, when nursing homes gave Jindal $206,000 on one day. Over 3 days in October of 2011, nursing homes gave Senator Bumpington nearly $64,000. On September 22nd, 2010, nursing homes gave John Alario's Political Action Committee, $60,000. In our interview with the head of the state's Nursing Home Association, we found out some of those dates may coincide with fundraisers. The association's Political Action Committee hosts the lawmakers. The Nursing Home Association's Baton Rouge headquarters.
We use our upstairs. We'll, PAC will send out requests to members. If you'd like to come to a fundraiser, come on by and meet with the legislator. And if they want to make a contribution, they make a contribution.
Teddy Price is the highest donor among nursing home owners, giving $444,000 over the past 4 years. That money was given by about 30 different businesses, people including Price and his wife. Elton Beebe of Ridgeland, Mississippi, his family and businesses gave the second most among nursing home owners, $303,000. Once Fox 8 News and NOLA.com and Times State News noticed large contributions to nursing homes, we started digging further. Here's what else we found. Some nursing home owners who were the highest donors own some of the worst rated nursing homes in Louisiana. According to data collected by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Louisiana has the 4th ranking nursing homes in the country, number 50, ranked behind Oklahoma, Texas, West Virginia, and Georgia.
I think some of the ratings are based on some probably incorrect coding on our part. I don't think many of our members were coding for contract nurse practitioners. And once you see them doing that over the next few quarters, I think we will improve.
Let's take a deeper look at the ratings. In a 5-point system, Louisiana for-profit nursing homes average a 2.5 rating. The nonprofit homes better, 3.5. But there's more. Louisiana laws set a cap for certain fines. For a Class A violation that results in a death or serious injury, the most a nursing home can be fined is $2,500 for that one incident. So you could have a relative die at a nursing home, the nursing home could be at fault, and the state could only fine them $2,500 for that one incident.
The state is saying they're not worth much.
These nursing homes are dependent on state money through the Medicaid program.
The nursing homes have been a very special case during this budget downturn.
Just compare 2010 and 2011. During heavy budget cuts, payments to nursing homes went up $114 million. even though nursing homes population did increase.
If you ask hospitals, if you ask home care providers, if you ask pharmacists, if you ask anybody else, mental health services, everybody has faced some sort of cut and have had to do more with less during this downturn. And that hasn't been the case with nursing homes. Their rates have gone up and up every single year, even though the population in nursing homes has actually been declining for most of the last few years.
Critics say the facts in our story lead to one conclusion.
They're buying legislators and they're buying the administration.
Bruce Blaney says campaign contributions lead to favorable laws, favorable payments, like the millions that indirectly fund empty beds at nursing homes.
Are your campaign contributions help, in a sense, buying legislation that's favorable to the nursing home?
No, I don't think so. Again, we pay
What do you think it's doing?
campaign contributions to educate legislators and to respond to requests that we get for campaign contributions.
But a former governor said there's a reason nursing homes donate more than the oil and gas industry.
The government regulates the rate of pay that they get for a nursing home. So it's a direct correlation.
According to Buddy Rover, this example is one that shows the system needs to change.
What's best for them is to have a system where they don't have to buy politicians or rent them, where they can make their case based on the facts about the amount of money they should be given.
Everyone who pays a utility bill in Louisiana is impacted by the decisions made by the state's Public Service Commission. It's a government body with broad power to watch over and regulate utilities and motor carriers too. It turns out those utilities and carriers play a large part in getting the commissioners elected.
They hosted the
Yes, correct.
A fundraiser hosted by businessman Jerry Juno of Bossier City.
Do you know how much Mr. Gino gave you?
His wife and him individually gave me a max contribution. Juno and his wife donated a total of $10,000 to Public Service Commissioner Eric Skermetta's campaign.
Right conflict.
But Skermetta's colleague in the commission, Foster Campbell, says Skermetta crossed the line when he allowed Juno to host a fundraiser at his business, City Telecoin, a company that operates prison telephones. The company Skermetta, the Public Service Commission, regulates.
City Telecoin now is under, they've broken our rules and they've been charged and they're before the lawyers at the Public Service Commission for some heavy fines, I hope, for some of the things they've done.
At the same time, Skermetta took Juno's money, used his office to raise even more campaign funds. That company, City Telecoin, had started negotiations with the Public Service Commission staff on what punishment City Telecoin may face for possibly violating commission rules. Based on a staff recommendation, the Public Service Commission will vote on.
Family. You guys, I hope you guys get the concept or see where we're going with this, with this whole, with the whole issue, the whole presentation. The level of corruption here, family, it's deep and widespread. It's deep and widespread. And we are not saying that this corruption is only unique to the territory of New Orleans, Louisiana. No, we're not saying that. It's unique as it relates to its concept, and the time period in which it have been taking place and how widespread it is. It's unique in that aspect. We are not saying that Louisiana, the territory of Louisiana, is the only territory within the union that have corrupted politicians. No, we are not saying that. But we are saying there is no other territory like Louisiana when it comes to corrupted politicians. When you look on the amount of politicians that's either been in federal prison, under indictment, under criminal investigation. When you look on the amount of elected official or politician that either been kicking out or throwing out of office, no other territory can beat us or is nowhere close to what we have here in the territory of Louisiana. So, when it comes to that aspect, we are unique. When it comes to that aspect, we are unique, family. When it comes on to that aspect. And that is the reason why the people of Louisiana, the everyday people, are feeling the pinch because we have politicians here like Errol G. Criminal Williams, who is utilizing his office or the office that he so occupy right now to reign tyranny and we the people. And it's time for an awakening. It's time for we the people to recognize, or it's time for the masses to recognize the tyranny from these politicians. And for those of you who like going around and posing and taking pictures with politicians, because you want to say, yeah, I know he or I know she. Stop it. Stop it. He ain't right. He ain't right. Stop it. Family. Join us here. You can join us here Saturday, the same place, same time, where we shall dive into more cronyism, more corruption by these elected officials. Look, until that time, this is your brother Anthony Brown saying much love. Peace.